Hey everybody, this is David Barnyard Bees. Out here watching the bees this morning. I put out some community feeders for the bees at this time of year, and I know everyone feeds bees different ways. I believe at this time of year, during the dearth, we're in mid-July, I love to feed external feeders, community feeders, instead of internal feeders. Because if you got a mix in the bee yard like we do, and like probably a lot of people do, where you're running big hives, little hives, I mean, we got, double deeps running with 2-frame nukes that we have for queen rearing. And when it comes to a robin situation, if you put a feeder on top of a 2-frame nuke, it's probably not going to go good for those bees in that hive. Now, if you have big hives, and they're all big hives, you run 10 double deeps, triple deeps, or double deeps with super, whatever you have, in a situations like that, it's not near as bad to feed when you have to. But the thing is, most of the time you won't have to if you have that size colonies. But when you're running new splits, they will run out of resources at times, and it's necessary to feed them. They're young splits. I went down and checked out a couple of my colonies, and they was bone dry. They had a little bit of pollen and very little nectar. This has been a bad year. It seems like we got robbed of June, because it started out the first week of June. It was okay. From there on out, it's been drought. And so we lost a lot of our nectar flow. And it cost you. And we have to feed. I got this thing sitting on an old trampoline that's going to be thrown in the dumpster. So it's just sitting here waiting to be hauled off. So I just got these sitting up on the side. And it's very important to determine where you want to put the positioning of your sugar feeders. There's a concrete slab right over there. Used to be an old dog kennel sit there. And I had them sitting there. I thought that's a perfect place, because if there's any leakage at all, it'll run down. And then the bees will pick it up. But it wasn't a good spot, because it brought traffic around the house from the bees and coming to this direction, and it wasn't good. And now I can watch, and it seems like the bees are more coming from the bee yard like they should. For some reason, some of them was redirecting up towards the front of the house, checking things out up there. But as soon as I moved it, it's a lot better. From right here where I stand, the bee yard is down there. It's about, I'm guessing, 300 feet, probably from here. So you got to pick your location a good little bit away from your hives. Now, we'll go on to the subject about feeding other people's bees. Well, if I would take all my bee colonies away and open feed, you'd probably see very little bees here, if any at all. There's not that many bees in the area. No one here within a 2 or 3 mile radius keeps bees, and if they do, they're a very, very small amount. And some people say, well, you could cause diseases and such. The way I see it, bees are foraging everywhere, and they're, like I've said in previous videos before, they're foraging in trash dumpsters, at a local McDonald's where somebody spilled milkshake or Coke. So these bees are out there foraging anyway, and I don't think it's a big deal. We've never had any trouble or issues with it. Another thing we'll talk about today is among feeding, check your colonies out. Just that's what you got to do. You don't necessarily have to say, well, David said I need to feed, so I'm going to start feeding. Look in your colonies, see what you got, do an inspection, and see how much honey you got. Or nectar, or pollen, just check it all out. If it looks pitiful, then start feeding. Another thing you gotta, everyone hopefully has done already, is mite treatments. I'm not gonna go in detail what kind of mite treatments you do. Do your research. Whether you use oxalic acid or formic acid or whatever you do, you need to do some kind of mite treatments, because you want to keep your bees healthy going into the fall flow, because if you don't treat, you're going to have weak bees going into the fall flow. So, your goldenrod and such. What a lot of people do is, coming into spring, before the nectar flow, before the supers are put on, they'll do a treatment then. They'll do a treatment immediately after the honey flow, and then they'll do one in the fall, or a series of whatever you do, whether it's oxalic acid, the vaporizer, or the dribble, or the cloth, the extended release that a lot of people do now with the claws that they lay across the brood chamber. Whatever you do, you need to start thinking, if you hadn't done one already, it's a good time to go ahead and do your treatment now. A lot of those they outgas a lot, not oxalic acid, but some of the other ones when it gets real hot. So you gotta be careful with those. Read the instructions, what it says, at what temperatures it's okay to treat at. But with oxalic acid, with where I was talking about the cloth, the absorbent cloths, or the shop towels, whichever ones you use, those are safe and they don't harm anything. It's a slow release. The bees track it, they tear it apart, they carry it out, and they spread the oxalic acid. And that's a really good treatment to use. But anyway, we'll end the video. Just wanted to do a little quick video and touch base with everyone. Hadn't done one in a couple weeks, but I thought it was important to talk about your bees, your feeding situation. And as you can see, Big Blue pollen feeder has a little bit of traffic at it, not a lot. Since we're in Dearth, I do offer the pollen to them, and if they take it, they obviously need it. And if they don't, I'll put a little sample out there. I'll put maybe a cup, and then test it and see if any shows up. Then if they do, then I'll go ahead and put a couple big scoops in there, and they're coming to it. We're definitely absolutely in Dearth. So this will help them keep building up, along with the sugar water. It's just all part of bee maintenance and keeping them strong and doing the mite treatments. That's about it, folks. Don't forget, click on the little bell, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Barnyard Bees.